I wanted to come on, and it's been 2 weeks since our mom was taken, and I just wanted to come on and say that we still have hope, and we still believe. And I wanted to say to whoever has her or knows where she is that it's never too late. And you're not lost or alone. And it is never too late to do the right thing. And we are here. And we believe. And we believe in the essential goodness of every human being. And it's never too late.
The search for Nancy Guthrie, the 84-year-old mother of Today's Show co-host Savannah Guthrie, is entering its third week with investigators acknowledging a difficult reality. The case may take significant time to resolve. Despite mounting forensic evidence and continued law enforcement activity across southern Arizona, authorities say there are still no arrests and no confirmed location for Nancy Guthrie. Still, officials insist the investigation is far from over.
Hi guys, we are now able to independently confirm some new information in the Nancy Guthrie investigation. This is from an inside source that is now reportable. I want to take you through the new information we've learned. We can now report investigators now believe this was a burglary gone wrong. We've interviewed multiple experts since this began who also said, based on the evidence, surveillance video, and other aspects of this case, that they also believed this was not an intended kidnapping. As for Friday night's operations, law enforcement activity, we can now report from our inside source that DNA evidence is currently being tested that was found from that Range Rover at the scene outside Culver's. You could see when investigators were there, they put up a tarp, that they were doing some sort of investigative work there. And last but probably most important, the widespread belief by investigators tonight is that Nancy Guthrie could be alive. We'll keep you up to date as we learn more. We are working on many things behind the scenes, but again, tonight, big updates. They believe this was a burglary gone wrong. DNA evidence is being tested from the Range Rover, and the widespread belief by investigators is that Nancy Guthrie could be alive. Stick with us. We'll bring you the very latest as we learn more.
We won't quit, Pima County Sheriff Chris Nanos said this week. Maybe it's weeks or months or years from now, but we're going to find Nancy, and we're going to find this guy.
I spoke to a former senior FBI profiler about these new images of an armed person tampering with Nancy Guthrie's home security camera the morning of her disappearance. The person is wearing a ski mask, backpack, and gloves, and has what appears to be a handgun in some type of holster at the waist. I spoke with former senior FBI profiler Mary Ellen O'Toole, who says this individual's behavior stands out to her.
He doesn't seem nervous. He's walking at a comfortable pace. He doesn't appear agitated. He appears to be actually relaxed. So I think that's really important when you put it into this perspective. He is about ready to go into a home where he doesn't belong and kidnap the person inside the home. And yet this is how relaxed that he is.
She says it could be a personality trait or because the person is familiar with the area, even this home. And she says the outfit in his video really stood out to her.
His outfit seems to be something that he put together strategically to be able to make sure that he didn't deposit forensic evidence at the scene. And when someone is watching this video, they may in fact recognize these items of clothing because it's not unrealistic, and it's happened in other cases where the offender actually does a dress rehearsal before they go out and commit the crime. They want to make sure everything fits, everything feels right, everything is where it's supposed to be on their body. So it's possible that somebody watching that will say, I saw when he went through that dress rehearsal. I saw that clothing.
So what does she mean by making sure not to leave forensic evidence? Well, gloves would prevent fingerprints, and that mask goes over the hair. That's even preventing hairs from falling out. Either way, images like this could be a game changer in finding whoever is responsible.
You've got someone that we can all look at now and get an idea of their height and their weight, how they dress, how they walk. So this is incredibly valuable information. And again, all it's going to take is for one person to look at this and realize that is their spouse, that's their son, that's their brother. So this is incredibly invaluable evidence.
Here is where the case stands right now. Nancy Guthrie was reported missing on February 1st after she failed to attend church and could not be reached by family members. She was last seen the night before, January 31st, at her home in Tucson, Arizona. Within days, authorities confirmed the case was being treated not as a voluntary disappearance, but as a suspected kidnapping. Blood matching Nancy Guthrie's DNA was found on the exterior porch of her home, and surveillance footage later showed a masked individual tampering with a security camera near her front door in the early morning hours after she was last seen. Since then, the investigation has expanded into a multi-agency effort involving the Pima County Sheriff's Department, the FBI, and federal forensic teams. In the most recent development, law enforcement executed a court-ordered federal search warrant late on February 13th at a residence located roughly 2 miles from Nancy Guthrie's home. The warrant was described by investigators as being based on a specific lead tied to the disappearance. Multiple sheriff's vehicles and FBI units were seen surrounding the residence late into the night. A traffic stop was also conducted nearby, and at least one individual was questioned. However, authorities confirmed the following morning that no arrests were made and no suspects were formally named. Investigators also towed a gray Range Rover SUV from a nearby restaurant parking lot as part of the inquiry. Again, officials declined to provide details on how the vehicle connects to the case, citing the ongoing investigation. Sheriff Nanos said the visible police activity should not be interpreted as a setback. "This is how complex cases move," he said. "You follow leads. Some go somewhere, some don't, but every step matters." At the center of the case is Nancy Guthrie, described by family and friends as fiercely independent, deeply religious, and closely connected to her community. She is known to require daily medication, has a pacemaker, and has a history of heart and blood pressure issues, a factor investigators have repeatedly emphasized as time-sensitive. Her daughter, Savannah Guthrie, has become one of the most visible public voices in the case, using her platform to appeal directly to the public and potentially to whoever may be responsible. "We believe she is still alive," Savannah wrote in a social media post after surveillance images were released. "Bring her home." Law enforcement has also identified a masked individual captured on surveillance footage as a suspect, describing him as a man approximately 5 feet 9 inches tall with a medium build, wearing gloves, a ski mask, and carrying a backpack consistent with a 25-liter Ozark Trail hiker pack. No identity has been released. Investigators say the case is being driven heavily by forensic analysis. Authorities have confirmed that DNA not belonging to Nancy Guthrie or her close contacts was collected from her property. While officials have not disclosed where that DNA was found, they say it is being processed and compared against national databases. In another major development, the FBI confirmed that a glove discovered about 2 miles from Guthrie's home contains DNA that appears to match gloves worn by the masked suspect seen in the surveillance footage. The glove was found in a field beside a road and sent for testing. Preliminary results have come back, with official confirmation still pending. Investigators have also collected multiple gloves in the area surrounding the home, though officials clarified that many of those belonged to search teams and were discarded during early efforts. Ransom notes allegedly connected to the case have been sent to multiple media outlets, but the FBI has said there has been no verified communication between the alleged kidnappers and the Guthrie family. 2 reported deadlines tied to those messages have already passed. Despite the volume of activity, Sheriff Nanos has stressed that high-profile investigations do not always produce quick resolutions, even when the public expects them. Cases involving abductions, especially those without witnesses or immediate suspect identification, often rely on slow forensic work rather than visible breakthroughs. Law enforcement officials say releasing information prematurely could compromise the investigation or alert the suspect. "We're not chasing headlines," one official said privately. "We're chasing answers." Beyond the personal tragedy facing the Guthrie family, the case has drawn national attention because of Nancy Guthrie's connection to one of America's most recognizable journalists, and because it highlights the realities of modern investigations. Despite surveillance cameras, DNA technology, and rapid media coverage, authorities say solving a crime still depends on patience, verification, and public cooperation. The FBI is now offering a $100,000 reward for information leading to Nancy Guthrie's recovery or an arrest. Officials are urging anyone with knowledge, no matter how small, to come forward. Investigators say daily law enforcement activity will continue across the region. Leads are still being followed, forensic testing is ongoing, and analysts are reviewing surveillance footage and data logs. Authorities remain cautious but resolute. "We believe she is alive," Sheriff Nanos said earlier this week. "And until we know otherwise, we're operating with that belief guiding everything we do." Anyone with information is encouraged to contact 1-800-CALL-FBI or the Pima County Sheriff's Department. That is what we know at this hour. The Signal 24/7 will continue tracking developments as this investigation unfolds.